Y'all ready for this?
Welcome to Being Human. My name is Ethan Ellis, this is Donovan Eckersley, and we're excited to be back for another episode. I'm not too sure what episode we're actually on, whether this is episode 5.
Yeah.
Are we on episode 5? Okay, well, this is episode 5. And in this episode, we are going to be going through 15 questions. And these questions, the title of the document that we ended up creating is called the INNERVIEW. And so this is really we're going to share these questions with you as well. I think there'll also be a link probably on YouTube wherever we upload this where they can actually have the document too, so they can go through the questions as well. But these questions are really designed to really take a look at your inner landscape of who you are, of what you are, and really pick yourself apart in some ways, in a really nice, beautiful ways, really looking at the things that you've never really looked at before. Really looking at the ways in which you're holding yourself back. Looking at all kind of the
hard truths.
Yeah, the hard truths. That's a really good way to put it. Yeah, the hard truths. And also some of the questions are really beautiful and really soft and really gentle. And also kind of the beautiful truths as well to that. You know, it's the qualities that are really good about you. And so this podcast episode, we're going to be diving completely into that process. And we're going to go through it ourselves. And we just invite you to either go through this process on your own. You can do it in real time with us. But it's just a really good way to tune in, to tune in and check in. What's going on? Do you have anything else that you want to share about that?
No, I think we're going to do it. Well, yeah, one thing is we'll do it in a 2-part series. So it'll be episodes 5 and 6. Just so it's a little bit easier, digestible.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Yeah.
They're powerful questions. So yeah, it's deeply contemplative, and we're just gonna shoot straight from the heart and see where we go.
Yeah, which is fun because so originally we shot this episode in Tofino first.
Yeah.
We ended up taking a trip. This was probably a month ago, right? I think honestly, almost a month ago that we took that trip. And we went surfing. We had a lot of fun, but we shot this podcast episode in this really cool kind of spot that we ended up hopping a fence, getting up to and shot it. But it was sunrise and it got really dark, and it was the ocean was roaring in the background, and it just wasn't the greatest. And so it was cool because I feel at that time, it's I would have answered these questions differently.
Yeah.
And my answers to the questions that I answered in the way that when I did this the first time are going to be radically, I feel just different than what they are now, So I'm excited to kind of in that way, be spontaneous and speak from the heart. Because I feel we're going to, what we shared that time, I know that they won't get to hear, but I feel it's going to be different in some ways. There's going to be a lot of things that are similar, but also it's cool that we get to do this in this way and just be spontaneous in that way, because I feel they're going to be different.
Yeah. And I guess just a gentle reminder to just keep this document available and to check in with yourself every few months to see how the answers to these questions may have changed for you. And just to in that, to witness yourself in your own growth.
Yeah, I love that. Cool. Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Well, welcome. Let's go. The interview. Question number 1, I'm going to ask you first.
Okay.
What parts of your life feel out of alignment right now? it's just constant, it's wow. Let's go.
Starting to sweat. I'm getting hot. All right, here we go. What parts of your life feel out of alignment right now? I would say that there's very little that actually feels out of alignment because of my trust in the unfolding of it all. And so I guess a little bit where I could tighten things up, if you will, is believing in that trust piece, in that beautiful unfolding, instead of having, a little bit of doubt or fear. And so there is some of that, and that comes from the fear, and the doubt comes from it comes from I guess my inability to fully appreciate the unfolding. And I'm doing that by putting pressure on myself, thinking that where I'm at isn't it, that I need to be doing more, that I should be doing this, I should be working harder, I should be resting, I should be reflecting more. Yeah.
What? What's the
I'm just trying to make sense of it for myself. And that's a funny thing, because what's out of alignment right now is the question. And I guess my quality of mind, because of the last few weeks of my life and what I've gone through, from going back to the land and community from which I called home for 8 years of my life, and beautiful people there, and transitioning from that to out here on Salt Spring Island, knowing that this is exactly where I need to be. There's been a lot of things surfacing that are not the most comfortable to sit with. Feeling discomfort in the body around certain things and being triggered. My mind wanting to force the process of that to receive understanding, instead of just allowing that natural process to take place. And the pressure that I'm putting on myself to make sense of it, instead of just enjoying the mystery of it all. And so my focus is the letting go of control, knowing that I'm safe and that everything's okay and that I'm actually exactly where I need to be, and that I'm happy who I am and where I am. So just bringing my mind, kind of like courting my mind down into my heart, just a little bit more. It's okay. It's okay. We're safe. You're surrounded by beautiful people. And so it's not necessarily that it's out of alignment, but I'm just being challenged. I'm being challenged, and so it feels out of alignment, but it's actually all perfect. It's all exactly how it needs to be. And even though it feels out of alignment, it's actually spirit doing what spirit does. Mm-hmm. And we'll never know exactly how that works. So just really embracing it and being okay with, hey, I'm a little bit out of alignment right now. And that's okay, because we're going to slowly work our way back into alignment. And then we're going to ride that wave. And then we'll probably be out of alignment again a little bit. And each time I get to learn just a little bit more about the truth of things, who I am, and my gifts and my power. And yeah, it's the process of in and out of alignment and just loving it all. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. All right, brother. What parts of your life feel out of alignment right now?
Same beginning like as yours, like not much, man. I feel like there's a lot that's in alignment. I feel like the only pieces that aren't in alignment is just a little bit of like where I'm not willing to go, in places I'm not willing to show up, or like things that I'm not like a little bit scared to do. I feel like that's the only place of like launch a program, launch an offer, like really put myself out there in those ways, show up as like, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is how I serve, this is the experience that I can offer people. Like really putting myself out there as like a coach, or I guess like I've called myself a coach for quite some time, but really like owning that piece and like owning who I am and owning what I am. That's the only part that feels like a little bit of like out of alignment for me, is like I have these whispers, you know, it's kind of like out of alignment with the whispers. Like I've had the whispers and I know that the whispers are pointing me in this direction. And it's just, it's much along your same point of like, it's all perfect in the way that it's unfolding, but I can hear the whispers and it's like I act this way, or I delay the whispers, or I push them off, or I wait a little bit longer. It takes me a little bit more time, or like I just kind of keep pushing it off and off and off. And I feel like that's the only place I feel like in my being, in my body at this moment, where it's like that's out of alignment, you know? Yeah, like I mean, there's maybe like little pieces of like I'm not as structured as I want to be, that are maybe like I'm feeling the call and noticing that there's a little bit of a piece of like not alignment or not harmony there, of like there's just a calling in me that feels like to have just more structure in my life around how I work, how I move, morning rituals, like that whole process, and just like how I structure my life. I feel like there's a little piece out of alignment there, and it's just like an invitation to step a little bit deeper into like how I can show up and how I can love myself and how I can really take care of myself and how I can structure myself in a better way that actually supports me, instead of being so in the flow of things, instead of being so in just like whoa, which is wonderful to be there, and there's nothing wrong with being there. It's just like, and it's cool because it's like alignment doesn't always mean, I think for me is like what I've come to learn is like alignment doesn't always mean that it's wrong, you know? It's just like, or there's something bad with it, you know? It's just like, hey, I'm being called in a different direction, and that can be out of alignment. It's not good, it's not bad, it's not right, it's not wrong. There's no judgment upon it. It's just, hey, I'm being called in this way, you know? And I feel like I'm very much being pulled in a different way. And I feel like it's just like those little nudges of like not listening, you know, to those little nudges in the full capacity of like naivete and sweat lodge. We did a sweat lodge yesterday. She shared again, like just the one teaching that she shared with me, I think a year ago when I did the fire tending ceremony. She's like, what did you learn? And what are you learning? And like really just paying attention to that question of like, what am I learning? And really learning what needs to be learned, instead of just like learning it and letting it go, learning it, then letting it go, like letting it come in, letting it go, letting it come in, letting it go, but not actually like incorporating that. But then also like with the caveat of understanding that it's all on time, but not using that as an excuse to like just not do anything about it, you know? So it's like finding that beautiful balance of like, how can I make the decision and feel that change within me that acts in that different way? So I feel like those are really the only pieces of my life that are out of alignment right now, which feels really good. Like I'm not watching porn, which feels really good. Like I'm not doing a lot of things that I used to do, which feels really good. Like there's a little bit of an out of alignment piece of like overeating. I still feel like I'm overeating, but I've been trying to gain weight in the gym as well. But it's just like a little tweak there that could be made that I feel a little bit out of alignment of like when I eat the food and how I eat the food. That could be different and changed. And I feel like that's really, really, yeah, there's just like a couple little like just little tweaks, man. And it's cool. I feel really grateful and fortunate to be in that place of like, because at one point, man, my whole life was out of alignment, you know? So it's like, I just want to bring in like that layer for myself of like, pretty proud that there's only like a couple little tweaks, man, and there's not really anything major, you know? It's just like little shifts that I get to make that really, really bring me back into that swing of things, really bring me back into alignment that I'll get to make in the next little while, which I'm really excited to make, you know? And like you said, it's like, then I'll be in alignment, but then in that alignment, I'll see that other things are out of alignment. I'll be like, okay, those things get a shift. And then I'll get there and it's like, okay, these next things got to shift. And it's just like, just understanding that that's just the process, you know? We're always going to flow, ebb and flow in and out. So I'd say that those parts feel out of alignment right now. And then everything else feels really good. Yeah, it feels really good. Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, man.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, the subtleties is kind of what I heard from both of us.
Yeah.
Just subtle little tweaks. Listening carefully to the whispers. Nothing necessarily needs to be screamed. You don't need to be screamed at so much anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like when you've had that experience enough, you start to listen to the little nudges, you know? Like at first it takes the screams of like, hey, like this is going on. You gotta like, your body's screaming, your mind's screaming, your life is literally screaming, like things are falling apart. But then it's slowly like you develop that relationship with that little voice and with yourself and with your, almost your attunement or with who you are, that it's like you slowly begin to like listen a little bit softer. Listen to that little whisper more. It becomes louder because you're paying attention. You're learning, you know? But it is like those subtleties, man. It's really, it's cool. You know, it's cool that we're both in that experience. You know?
Yeah.
It's like little things that get to change.
Good to be here.
Yeah, yeah. Very good. Yeah.
Nice, thanks.
Yeah, man. You too. Question number 2. What are you pretending not to know or feel? In other words, what truths have you been avoiding?
Probably the fact that I still do find myself numbing or running or hiding or distracting myself with certain addictive tendencies that I have, and ignoring what those feelings and how they show up in my body, ignoring those. And so the truth is that when I watch myself run or hide or numb out using whatever method possible, I mean, there's, a myriad of them. I'm actually pretending not to feel in my body that actually this part of me, this aspect of me is not okay. And so in a way, I'm dissociating, might be a bit of a harsh word, but in some way it's true, because I'm not willing to meet this part of me that just wants my attention. It just wants me to communicate with it. It just wants me to give it love, the love that it maybe never got before as a younger child or adolescent or teen or whatever. And so in some way, there are certain areas of my life that I'm almost avoiding or pretending not to pretending that they're not like speaking to me.
What are those areas, if you're willing to share? Like, what are those?
This is a big one.
Yeah.
Just this podcast alone. Like,
Cool.
I am a lover of life, and I'm continuing to learn how to be alive and to love life and to share this gift of being creatively in my wholeness, in my truth, in my power. It scares me. It scares me to let people into my world in this very intimate way. Yeah. And we were speaking about it last night briefly. It's like back when I was on the pipeline and I fully embraced who I was. Like, I was so bought into that identity and I was really successful. However, who I am now is not that. There's aspects of that that are really great. Confidence and just trust and knowing that I'm get to bring in to the more authentic Donovan and step into this new power without the inner critic. And that's a scary thing. Yeah. It's a scary thing to put myself out there in that way. But it's so funny because it's like, why is it scary? It doesn't have to be scary. Like, this is my life. My life is being lived and sharing stories with my community and the people closest to me about my life. This is what I do every single day, and I absolutely love it. And there's no reason to be afraid, but I think that fear is just, in some way, it's that aspect of me that is looking for the attention. Hey, do this. Of course, there's a little bit of fear here. But remember when you've pushed through fear before? Here you go. It's actually a gift, right? It's a little sacred visitor showing up on my doorstep, say, hey, that's the whisper you were just talking about. Yeah. Hey, go this way. Are you a little bit scared? Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel after you finished the episode? Lit right up. See?
Let's go.
You see? Yeah. Because you're creating without any real effort whatsoever, through your being, through your heart, Donovan. And yeah.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge, man. It's really easy to run from those things, like run from the little whispers or the nudges that we're taking, or like the little whispers.
Running my whole life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, what you need to do. It's just, are you willing to like really do that, But it takes a lot to do that because it involves like you have to be willing to face that fear. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to risk judgment. You have to be willing to share something that you haven't been willing to share, or like something that has a little bit of shame around it still, or like whatever the pieces are. It's like you have to be willing to be you. And in that, that's the magic, that's the power. Like that's the power. Like sharing that you're scared of, that's the power. It's like, yeah, sure that if like anybody's watching or anybody's listening who hasn't done this, they're gonna feel terrified once you start the camera up and you're like, okay, what do I say? What do I do? How do I do this? You know, it's like all the voices that come up. It's just like, it takes so much time to move through that, to just land of like, you just gotta be you, man. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing wrong with anything you do. There's nothing wrong with anything that's done. There's nothing wrong with anything you're gonna say. Just be here and go. You know, there's such power to like moving through that. It's cool.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
You remind me of like when I first really when I awakened, Aubrey Marcus was somebody who I followed and like looked up to. And I remember him telling a story on a podcast like a decade ago about like, if we're just going to run, if we're running from that fear, that illusion of fear, whatever it's manifested in our crazy mind to look like, whether it's a dragon or a rabid dog or a bat or a snake or whatever, it's like King Arthur running through the Darklands.
Yeah.
Did you see what you needed to see? But if we're just running, guess what's chasing us the whole time?
Yeah.
And then we turn around, warm embrace. Hello, let's sit down and have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
The relationship's changed.
Yeah. You're okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But it takes like moving into that, you know, like turning around and facing the things that you haven't been willing to up to this point and being okay.
Yeah.
You know, seeing that like that dragon actually isn't a dragon.
Yeah.
It's just pretended to be.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
Or maybe it is.
Yeah.
But it's actually here to be your friend.
Yes. Yeah. Here to be with you.
Yeah.
Help you on your journey.
Yeah.
You know, aid you in a particular way.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thank you for showing me where I need to go.
Yeah.
Because without you, I wouldn't know.
Yeah. And I was starting to get out of breath. I've been running for a long time now.
Yeah.
All I had to do was turn around.
Yeah.
Stop running and turn around.
It's crazy, man. Well, it's crazy, dude. Even like with a client that I had this morning, like same conversation, you know? Just stop. Just slow down. What you running from? What's there? What's present? Let it go. Be. Okay. Then move from that place. It is that deep breath.
Yeah. Ethan, what are you pretending not to know or feel? In other words, what truths have you been avoiding?
It's mostly like on the positive realm of things, you know, like how good can life be? You know, like life can be really good. And I feel like there's a part of me that's like avoiding that, you know, because there's a part of me that likes to maybe the hardship or likes to struggle or likes to like kind of like, oh, I gotta work hard. I gotta do this. It's just like that life doesn't have to be that, like life isn't fun. Like there's a weird like life is actually really good, you know, like really, really good, like really, really good. And I feel like there's a part of me that pretends not to know that at times, you know? Like, okay. Oh yeah, life is good. Life is really, really good. And I feel like that's one and something that I'm pretending not to know. I think I'm pretending not to know just like how powerful I actually like am, man. Like that's a big one for me, dude. That's a big theme of my life right now, man. It's like, I feel like I'm on the precipice of really stepping into that. And like, I feel like I'm on the edge, dude, of like, I'm exploring some really cool territory that I've never explored before. And I'm excited to like, just fall on the other side of that edge and really like embrace just this next level of like, this is who I am. It's kind of like when you shared of like, it's almost like picking up that identity. You know, it's like, I've been so scared to pick up an identity, but the identity is a tool. It's something that actually helps. It's something that allows me to be in a particular role at a particular time. I have many identities. I have the identity as a father. I have the identity as a coach. I have the identity as a human. You know, there's so many different things that I can pick up to, but if I don't hold an attachment to any of them, but I can be in that role and I can own that role and I can see that role and I can see myself in that role. So I feel like a big thing I've been pretending not to know is like my truth, man, and like my power and just how powerful I actually fucking am. And that's like from the deepest depths of my core with the deepest amount of love in my heart. Like, it's not from a place of like, I'm more powerful than other people. It's just from a place of like, I've got so much love in my heart, in my being, that space that holds, that space that creates, that effect that has in the world is actually like a huge impact. you know, like a gigantic impact. I love the washing machine going right now, dude. It's just boom, 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 boom. I love it so much. So that's part of it too.
That's the power.
Yeah,
Stepping into the power.
it's like, let's go. Yeah, dude. Actually, honestly, man, I was in the shower this morning, dude. I was like, dude, it's like the drumming. Because I started the dryer because I actually like did the air fluff. I didn't actually do like a time dry. So it's just like fluff, but the towels were still soaking wet. So I turned it on actual dry. And it was like, I was taking a shower. I'm like, dude, it's like a primal drumming when I was like, let's go, you know? So it's funny. But I feel like that's like a big thing that I've been avoiding. I think is like a huge energy leak, like in my life, of just like a truth that I get to step into. And I feel like that affects everything. That's the reason why I sometimes escape. That's the reason why I run. That's the reason why I've been avoiding things. It's just the fear of stepping into who I really am. It's like, comes back to Marianne Williamson's quote of like, our greatest fear is not that we're inadequate, it's that we're powerful beyond measure. And what we're actually capable of, and what we can actually do, and how we can actually impact the world, and how we can actually impact other people. And so I feel like that's a big one for me, you know? And I feel like I'm pretending not to know that this version of me gets to die, you know, because this version of me has been so beautiful and so wonderful and so amazing and so lovely, and has supported me in so many ways. But this version of who I am will no longer support what it is that I want to be and what it is that I want to call in. And like, that's sad for me, man. It's like when I first transitioned from becoming like an athlete, like going from an athlete to a nobody. It's like, that's that transition in some ways. This is a little bit more grounded in a foundation, because I have the foundation of the Spirit, and that's with me no matter where I go. So like, I feel really secure in that. So it's a little bit different, but it's a big, like, I've lived this way what feels like 8 years, man, of my life, like really beautifully, really tapped in, really connected. But it's the very thing that's holding me back. And so I feel like, pretending not to know that gets to die too. And that's cool, man, because that means relationships go. That means that everything in my life changes to some degree. Yeah, how I drive, how I walk, how I talk, how I be with Lincoln, how I be with my son, Lincoln, who's Lincoln. Just everything. It's like the people that are no longer at that place, it's like I get to say goodbye for now and support in a different way, because that's just who I'd be. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like that's what I'm pretending not to know, and that feels pretty complete for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's big, man.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to me how I think collectively we all share that fear, right? The fear of our light, the fear of really accepting the responsibility for the powerful people that we are here.
Yeah.
But that's the journey. Yeah. That's it. And I love what you said about feeling the sorrow or the sadness of the version that you have been, the person that you have been over the 8 years, these last 8 years, and how much you adored that person, and how grateful you are for the beauty that person has created in your life, and the impact that person has had on so countless lives. And for you, knowing that's, you've outgrown that, like you're shedding that skin. It's gone. It's time. It's no longer going to support me. But your awareness around the sorrow in that, and there's a grief in that as well, and you get to navigate that. And I think that's an important piece that oftentimes we forget, that actually allows us to access and step more fully into that power. It's like we need to honor ourselves and life in that way. It's not just put it in the garbage can.
Yeah.
It's, no, thank you so much. And I'm bringing parts of you with me.
Yeah.
Right? And there's some parts of you that are getting offered up as a feast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that like separation is huge. You know, it's like cutting the cord, like intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like you're just gonna like, because I think there's such reverence when you do that in a way of like, okay, I'm gonna intentionally create the space or a ceremony in a sense where it's like, I'm gonna let this part of me go. You know, and it's not from a place of like, oh, die because you weren't enough for this, but it's like a place of honoring of who you were, what happened, what transpired. And I feel like that clean, like, it's like instead of like cutting, it's like if we have a rope, instead of like just hacking at it with a knife, you know, it's like you take one sharp pair of scissors and you cut it, you know, and you cut it very nicely and it's a beautiful cut. It's like, that's almost what I like view that process of, though it takes like, that cut might take a month, a cut might take a year, a cut might take a week or a day, but it's like just intentionally like creating a space to grieve it, you know, to like honor, to really honor it in that way. I think is like, I love how you share that because it's huge. Yeah, really, I think important that we often don't do, you know, we don't create that space, we don't create that time in order to be in that way. Which I think is also like a huge part of like the vision fast too, which I'm really excited for, of like coming up for me, of like, I feel like that's what that cut is. Like in a lot of ways, it's cutting myself from who I've been to really being who this version of me is rolling in.
Yeah.
Can I go there to grieve that? Can I go there to honor that, to thank God for that, to feel that sorrow, to feel that pain, to sever that part of me from love, you know, with love, you know, not from love, but like with love, to say goodbye. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I feel like when we honor it too, it's like we move through that so much more easily rather than just lingering in, like carrying almost like that with us into the next part. You know, it's like if you go on a hiking trip, man, it's like you come back from one hiking trip that involved a shit ton of rock climbing, a shit ton of like just this crazy big expedition, and your bag's 80 pounds. It's like, well, if that was the expedition that maybe took you for 4 years or 2 years, and you have that 80-pound bag, and you come back home, and then you're scheduled to go on another hike that doesn't require that gear. Well, you're not going to bring that same gear on the same hike. You're going to stop and you're going to unpack that gear, and you're going to pack what you need for the next journey ahead. And I feel like that, like what you spoke to was very much that. I've never spoken that in that way or like use that example, but it's just like, whoa, okay. Like that's what that is. It's just like you're unpacking the things that you no longer need, honoring like what's there, and you're preparing yourself with what you need for the next journey ahead, you know?
It's interesting using that analogy because I remember my first vision fast, and the bag that I brought out with me was just like stacked so full of supplies.
Yeah.
And then I went through that. And then the next year, I just took a little bit less because I knew what I needed out there.
Yeah.
And then the next year, I took a little bit less because I knew what I needed out there.
Yeah.
It's just like a little bit more like precision. There's not so much stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like that's not serving anymore.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
and thank you so much.
Yeah.
But I'm walking a little bit lighter these days.
Yeah.
And it feels good.
Yeah. That's huge, man. It's like letting go of like the people pleasing or the masks or like in that, like to bring it to like the human side, like to let go of like the things that no longer serve us. It's like letting go of all the weight, the masks that we've been carrying, and we move forward lighter. It's like we move forward in who we are. It's cool that you ended up doing that with each one. Like it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. Or just like a cool mirror and a cool reflection in that way. Yeah. Cool. Question number 3. What is working well in your life right now?
I mean, quite simply, I feel really strong. Like I'm the strongest I've probably ever been in my life. And that's commitment and dedication to a movement practice that is going to allow me to walk in this world and dance in this world the way that I want to for as long as I'm here. And so that along with just my commitment to self-care. And it's not that I necessarily do these things like meditation or, contemplative reflection or meditation or, things like that. It's not that I do those things necessarily every single day, but I do notice that when I am in that good routine, just my ability to just drop in and be here and be present with the truth of things in my life right now. Like we were talking last night, it's like, well, I get to 12 o'clock, and then from 12 till 4, 12 till 5, it's like nothing really happening now. What's going on? I'm feeling uncomfortable in my body. My mind's starting to race, and the stories are turning, and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, okay, but if it wasn't for the way I prepared myself up until then in the day, I wouldn't necessarily be able to see that clearly and respond with, oh, okay, I get to bring a little bit of creativity, invite in a little creativity into my life to add value to that time and my days. And so the way that I care for myself and the balance of that, just the little things. For me, really, it's the tiny little things like reading a good story, having a cup of tea at night, looking at the stars, going down to the beach and watching the crabs fight each other. The little things like my reverence and appreciation, deep appreciation for life, it just brings me so much joy. And so that's working really well for me. And I think that's brought in more things into my life that continue to propel me in that direction of living gratuitously, in terms of like the community that I have out here on Salt Spring Island. Like, this is home. This is a place in some way that I've been avoiding because I've been not wanting to accept the truth that this is where I'm supposed to be. I've been resisting moving out here and severing my ties with the life that I once lived in Revelstoke and that beautiful community and those beautiful people, but knowing that that's not where I'm supposed to be. And here I am now on Salt Spring and like just totally embraced by all of this, newness and the community here, and stepping into that fully. 3 months ago, I didn't have the role of firekeeper at Sweat Lodge. And now here I am, tending to that space in a good way and holding that space, learning how to hold space, learning how to be a space holder and connect more intimately with all the people that choose to come and be in the prayer in that way. And I didn't ask for that. It just appeared into my life through me willing to embrace the change and actually accept what has been offered to me. And so that's really what's going well in my life right now is, all of that, and then my willingness to meet life with what it's presenting to me, with a curiosity that allows it to, the learning it to be playful and an adventure, right? Looking at life as that, as an adventure. Oh, what do we get to do today? You know, like what's okay. And again, back to something that Naite shared with you in the past, and I think you just shared it earlier, but it's like, what did you learn today? And I think by continuing to take that seriously, but just seriously enough so as to not restrict the flow, if you will, to not be so hard on myself. Like, you need to do this, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, hey, what did you learn today?
Yeah.
Oh, this is what I learned today. I learned that there's 100 crabs out in the bay and they all, you know, fight each other for territory and stuff like that. Well, I didn't know that before.
Yeah.
You know, it might seem like it's not very relevant,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, you know, beautiful, cool. And yeah, so embracing life in my fullness. This is who I am now. I might be scared to sit here and shoot this podcast or continue to, you know, relaunch the men's groups or whatever it is. I might be scared, but I'm going to embrace this. This is who I am. This is what I love. And let's go.
Yeah, I love that for you.
Thanks,
That's
man.
cool. Yeah, it's cool, man. Yeah, it's one of the things even I shared yesterday is like your reverence for like how you do take care of yourself, you know, and how you do show up for yourself in those ways, and how you do tend to those little things, and just your attention. And like also, I shared that too, like how it's cool that you notice those things, you know, just like those are things that I all appreciate very much about you, and I loved how you shared like that. It's almost like that playfulness that comes with like, what did you learn? You know, like it doesn't have to be a serious thing. It doesn't have to come with shame and judgment. It's a playful thing when you open yourself up to the world, when you open yourself up to spirit, when you open yourself up to like how things unfold. It can be a very soft thing. It can be a very fun thing. You know, it's like, what did you learn? Oh, I learned that. No way. You know, it's just really cool. You learn crafts. You learn whatever it is. It's just like you learn. Wicked. Awesome. Yeah, so that's super cool, man.
Yeah, I guess I'm open to learning.
Yeah.
And that's what's really working well in my life right now, because I'm learning so much about who I am.
Yeah.
And I never could have even possibly imagined some of the things that I am learning about who I am and my way of seeing and the gifts that I carry. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Are you willing to learn that?
Beautiful. I feel like that's such a powerful question for people to just ask themselves, like, or just pray. Is like, hey, God, source, universe, like whatever we want to use, whatever name we want to call that thing, but like, open me up to help me learn, you know, to help me learn what you're teaching me, to help show me what you're trying to teach me through life, you know, something along those lines, but like an opening of that, of like, God, show me what I'm trying to learn here, you know, just like an opening. Cause I feel like it takes that, you know, because like you could pretend that you know everything and you can pretend, yeah, I know this is why the sun sets here at this time. This is why you just know everything. And it's like, when you're in that space, you're not growing, you're not learning, you're not seeing something different. You're not seeing life and meeting life in a different way. Like, oh, I know that this was going to happen. Or I know this. It's just like, well, can you open yourself up to just learning? You know? Can you open yourself up to maybe seeing something a little bit different? Such beauty to that, dude. Such beauty to that.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Ethan, what's working well in your life right now?
Whew. Yeah, lots, man. Yeah, I feel like life is same thing. I'm just like, I love learning, you know, I just love who I am. Yeah. I feel like that's just working really well, man. It's like who I am and how I be in the world is working really well.
Yeah.
Like really well. And yeah, there's moments of hardship, moments of struggle, moments of shame, moments when I'm not the best parent, moments of all that stuff, you know? And at the end of the day, it's like, that's still good too. You know, it's like who I am is still like it, you know? And I'd say that like, it's just, I feel truthfully, like, and honestly, and I could say that with like full like integrity in my being, that like, it's all working well, you know? And that's a wild thing to like, because I never, at one point in my life, I would have never have shared that, you know? Like I wasn't working well at one point in my life, you know, but I feel like I'm working very well.
Man's a well-oiled machine.
Yes! Yeah, dude, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Go to Lube City twice a week, man.
They lube me up nice and good, man. Yes, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say honestly, that's my answer, man. It's super
Beautiful.
short. Like everything, man. Like lots is working so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I am working well.
Yeah.
Yeah. In harmony. In the way of things in the flow.
Yeah. And I think that well, I love what you mentioned a little bit, like when things, you know, that there's not to eliminate the hardships or the sorrow, the sadness, or, you know, because that's it too, but it's the acceptance of that allows us to see it through the lens of, oh, well, it's still working well. Yeah. I just got caught.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's okay, man.
Yeah, it totally is. It's the most okay thing ever, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't come to the life to live this perfect fucking life where we're never not gonna experience shame, suffering, pain, sadness, sorrow, guilt. We're gonna experience all of that all of the time.
Yeah.
And that's like, yeah, there's like an acceptance of like that's life.
Yeah.
You know, because like I think for a long time I pushed that away of like, okay, I just gotta meditate, I gotta do these practices, I gotta do this work to push away all this shit so I don't have to feel it anymore. So I can just feel joy, I can just feel positive, I can just feel good. Instead of coming into that acceptance, which I love that you shared on that, is like that it all is, that's life. You know? And if I can be in acceptance of that, then that is working well.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it, I love that.
It's like huge. What Naite shared last night in her prayer in Sweat Lodge. It's like, we signed up to be human.
Yeah.
Like, this is it, man. This is the curriculum. Don't push it away. Don't hang on to it all. Like, just, this is it.
Yeah.
It's all of it, man.
Yeah.
It is the whole gamut of it all.
Yeah.
All the feelings, all the emotions, all the experiences. This is it.
Yeah. And how can you become okay with that? Because the more that you're okay with that, the more that it's just going to work well. You know, you're going to work well in that. You're not going to push it away. You're not going to avoid it. You're not going to resist it. You're just going to welcome it. It's like you welcome grief. You welcome sadness.
What are we pushing? Who and what are we pushing away if we're pushing life away?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, right, we're creation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we're not, we actually don't trust at all. No.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That's dissociation.
Yes.
That's removing myself from it all.
Yeah.
And then things don't work well.
No.
I know that space.
Yeah. Your joy, like it's like when you cut off one aspect of life, you cut off all the aspects of life.
Yeah.
It's like if you limit the amount that you can feel pain or suffering or sadness or shame or guilt, you also limit the amount of joy and love that you can experience in your heart, you know? I love that aspect of things because it's just so powerful, man, when like you do like accept, which is, like you don't do all of the time, right? But like for the most, like to be in that acceptance of this is life, you know? There's just such power to that because it's like what Naite and Bill both share, like whatever comes into your world, you're okay with because you're okay.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, oh, okay. On to the next thing. Yeah. Just get on with it. Just get on with life. It's playful in that way. It's beautiful. And life's a trip, dude. Life is a trip, bro. Okay. Question number 4. What's not working but you've been tolerating anyways? Donna?
Smoking cigarettes, man.
God.
I can limit myself in my experience of life. Actually, like, rob myself of joy, of happiness. By continuing to not believe that I deserve those things. And at the same time, they need to be earned. You know, freedom needs to be earned. Well, how do we do that? Well, we show up in such a way where we're choosing love more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do slip or get caught, like we mentioned, it's like, and love that too. And it's back to your answer or your response to question 2. Me not accepting the responsibility of who I am and what I love and giving that freely, expressing that artfully, learning how to express that artfully and creatively. I've been tolerating that for years. For years, I've been hiding in the shadow. And it's like, it's just my shadow. If I'm going to be afraid of my shadow, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Better get that right.
Yeah.
But I've been tolerating that.
Yeah.
And it's taken this long to be cooked enough by spirit, to be tenderized enough, to be able to actually digest that. And it's a forever unfolding process, because the more that I continue to make myself available to life, the more that I'm going to receive. And there's going to be the next challenge and the next challenge and the next challenge and the next challenge. And so it's like writing my relationship with the resistance, with the fear, with the doubt, with the whatever it is, right? Because it's a hard go. I'll tell you that. It's a hard go to live inauthentically. And not to say that I was totally living inauthentically. I was learning how to live authentically. And now, because of that process, it's easier for me to see where there are still little bits of that inauthenticity, and where it's pointing me now in the direction where I can step into that power, that higher version of myself. Yeah, I've been tolerating that for a long time.
Yeah, that's what that is, you know?
Yeah.
That's the effect of that.
Yeah, it is that. I'm
It's
fucking exhausted by that.
Yeah.
And it feels good to let that go like that.
Yeah. Because that's what leads you to authenticity. It's like, in a lot of ways, it's like, you gotta be sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta be cooked long enough and tenderized, like beat to a pulp by spirit of just like, no, let's, like, I'm gonna beat the living hell out of you. Like, we're going, you know? Beating up on you, buddy. We're gonna keep this going until that moment comes. You're like, oh, I'm gonna shoot a podcast, or I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put myself out there in that way. Oh, okay, Dono. let's put you down here. You got enough beaten today.
Yeah.
Enough beaten for this time. Let's begin to actually be with you now and cook you in a really beautiful way.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge, man.
I guess one thing to just add to that, because it's, as you were talking, I was like, being hard on myself. I've been really hard on myself most of my life. And it's like, was that response being hard on myself? It's like, no, there was compassion in that as well. Yeah. It's like, no, I was learning and I'm going to continue to learn. But I'll tell you that's another thing that I know doesn't work, is when I am so hard on myself. You need to be, doing this, that, so on and such and so forth, right? It's just like, no, that doesn't work, man. Being that bully doesn't work. Softer, sweeter, more open. Softer, sweeter, more open.
Yeah, it's not always easy, like looking at the questions, because like I think it does, like, just for like anybody who's listening, of like, it's sometimes hard to face these things. It's sometimes hard to realize these things. It's sometimes hard to like really get honest with like, okay, what's not working, but I've been tolerating in my life. It's like, okay, yeah, there's some things here, that's okay.
Yeah.
And then moving and learning, of like coming back to the question, like, what am I learning? Okay. Now, how do I do this with as much love, as much compassion, as much empathy and forgiveness as possible, and move into that place? And learn.
What's not working, but you've been tolerating anyway?
What's not working, but you've been tolerating? I think it comes back to the first question that we asked. What parts of my life feel out of alignment? I feel like what's not working is like just the way of being that I've been operating in, of like the flow, like just living life so flow, which is like, it's so fun, so much fun. There's so much fun and so much joy and so much spontaneity in that. And I think I'm really seeing like with what I'm holding in all the aspects of things, and if I say that, if I look into the man that I want to be and the man that I feel when I feel that power, it's like that man is holding so much. And the reason why that man can hold so much is because he's got the structure to support him. He's got the foundations and the beams in place. He's got the house and the frame of the house, that he can put a roof on it, that he can put a door, like he can do that. And so I feel like what's not working well in my life is like that flow. And it's not a bad thing. It's just coming into realization that, hey, I get to structure myself differently. I get to create a lot more structure in my weeks. I get to create a lot more structure in my days. I get to create a lot more structure, and then hold myself to that structure. Not flare and tear, but also do that gently. Like start really small. And I think that's really like what's not working, but I've been tolerating. And then what's not working, but I've been tolerating anyway? I'd say there's like some aspects with my son, and like just the relationship of like being a father to him, of like there's some aspects and qualities there that like aren't working. Of just like, I don't plan out the weekends, and because I don't, it's like I'm often overwhelmed in the moment trying to come up with a plan for the weekend. And not that I need to plan and have a weekend like dialed in all the time, but it would be nice to know what we're doing. It'd be nice to like, okay, we're gonna go play Frisbee on the beach, it doesn't really matter, but it's like just to have something that we can go and do, and have those pockets of flow where we're just playing Lego, or we're just doing whatever, we're being super creative. But to give my son just that sense of structure as well, of like, yo, we're gonna go to the beach at this time, we're gonna play these things, or we're gonna go on this cool trip this weekend, or we're going up to Parksville, we're gonna book a hotel and we're gonna stay in the hotel for the weekend. But I see that it's just the structure piece, man. That's really what's being asked in my life, dude, is just really stepping into like leading myself in that way. Because when I lead myself in that way, I'll lead my son in that way. I'll lead my life in that way. And that's the way that I want to lead my life, is not necessarily in the flow of things, which can sometimes be chaotic and spontaneous, and which is wonderful, but more structured. So I feel like honestly, like that's the biggest thing that's not working. And then there's still some like beliefs and ideas about myself that I would say aren't working. Of like, it comes back to like also that power of like, I've been tolerating just playing small. I've been tolerating this like avoidance and how I just avoid things and how I know what I need to do, but I just put it off and I'm like, oh yeah. And it just slips out of my mind and I just go about my day kind of like reacting in some ways to what's happening. So I feel like I've been tolerating that. Yeah. And then I feel like I've been tolerating just these limits that I've put on myself, you know, like this is what's possible. You know, like in some way, shapes, or forms, it's like I've limited like what I think is really possible for my life. Like in a lot of ways, like, man, I never imagined myself to ever own a house because it's just like, for some reason, I just never made that amount of money to imagine myself. I never thought that I could possibly do that, you know, like have the amount of money to do that. I don't know. I think that just comes from like a lot of childhood beliefs around like whenever I'd go to ask my dad about like bills or like money, he'd always say, it's none of your business, go away. And I'd always just kind of like never really saw myself in that way. And also just the trauma and the pain that I experienced in childhood as well. I never saw myself worthy of anything. And so I feel like there's still like a layer of that, which I'm making a decent amount of money right now, which is really nice and really beautiful. But it's like I can expand that and I can push that to grow even bigger. I can make 10K a month every single month. I can make 30K, I can make 40K, I can make 50K, I can make 100K, I can make 200K a month. Like those are all possible realities for me. And it's like, so I feel like there's a little bit of like a belief around like just limiting, you know, of like, oh, this is what you get to experience, you know, but it's like, no, don't fall into that. So I feel like there's a little bit of like, just like upper limiting, like little bit of like limiting beliefs that I have around what's possible for me that is still like holding on to and carrying up there that I feel like I've been tolerating. You know, I've been like tolerating that, you know, I've been tolerating, okay, I'm making, I would say almost close to $6,000 a month at the end of the day. And it's like I can get comfortable with that. I can tolerate that. You know, I can like, that's good. It's really good. I'm super grateful that I get to do what I do. I get to put my son in the school that he's in. I get to do all that stuff. But it's like I can tolerate just that, you know, like that can become, it's just
Tolerable.
Yeah, tolerable. It's like, that's okay. You know, it's like, well, there's some things I would really love to do. You know, there's some, like we talked about yesterday. I'd love to like, take a trip to New York for a week, man, ball out, buy a $10,000 suit, you know, just like drive super nice cars, man, ripping down the road super fast, you know, just like things like that. Experiences that I would like to do and love to do. And that requires money, and that's not a bad thing. And it's like to open myself up to like, that's possible. Yeah, that's possible, man. You can do that. You can be anyone. You can be who it is that you want to be within, obviously, limitation. I'm not going to be a fucking professional basketball player. Yeah. But like I can do that, you know? So I feel like there's just like lots of different kind of like beliefs that are maybe floating around just that are like, oh, which I feel like I'm navigating through and breaking, especially just being around Scott, like being around his energy and his vibe of like, he's just on another level, you know? So it's like, I feel like because of that, it's like I've gotten to experience just what that's like. And it's like, okay, wow, okay, I can be ripping in a McLaren, you know? I can be like in a beautiful office or like a beautiful space. I can get this really beautiful hotel. Like, so there's like just places that are like slowly expanding, but I feel like there's still places that I've been tolerating, like those beliefs around scarcity of like, oh, I can't do that, or I don't have enough for that, or oh, I'm not worthy of that. I'm not worthy to go buy myself a really nice thing. Oh, weird, bro. Why is that there, man? So I feel like that's what I've been tolerating. Yeah.
These questions. Yeah. Talk about learning, you know? It's just like, as we express, it's like, oh, okay, there's the truth.
Yeah.
There's the truth. Yeah. There's the truth. This is my experience. Yeah. It's not good or bad. Yeah. It just is. Yeah. Do you like what you're hearing? Yeah. You're listening to yourself? Yeah. 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 Just learning. And that's the beautiful thing I think about this, man, is like, as we share this, we're learning, you know? And it's like, that's such a cool thing. I never knew that I was going to say that. Like, I never knew that I was going to go there. I had no freaking clue where I was going, really. And what I love about it in our relationship, like as homies, is that I get a clear view into your world, and it allows me to know where and how I can better support you to have more stuff working well in your life, to stop being so tolerable with where you're at. And it's like, what are those limiting beliefs? What are, let's talk about these things, right? How can I help you out, man? How can I support you? How can I love you here? What do you need from me?
Yeah. Beautiful.
Cool, man.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful. Which makes you like want to invite everybody who's watching, if like you have a partner or you have like a relationship, you have a friend, you have someone that you want to do this with. Like there's such power in sharing that and being seen in that. Mm-hmm. And because then you know how to support somebody and you get to know somebody at like just a deeper level. I mean, this is our life. Like we vibe at this. Like this is just like, this is kind of like, I'm not scared to answer these questions with you, It's just like we talk about all this stuff for the most part, like almost every single time we have a conversation, every single time we see each other on this level. So it's like, but to like for somebody maybe out there who hasn't experienced that before, it's like a great way to drop into like a deeper level of intimacy with their friends and with people in their life. Of like, it'd be sweet to even, honestly, I think I've gone through some of these questions with my dad and my parents, but like it'd be cool to like even do that with them, of like, oh,
for sure,
like I know some of my dad's hardest experiences. The next question, but it'd be like really cool to say like, Dad, who have you hurt, disappointed, or abandoned and have never fully faced? It'd be like so cool to hear my dad share that. It'd be like, that'd be crazy. Because I know that there's lots there that he hasn't like touched on.
That's a question.
It is a question. Yeah, dude, that's question number 6.
You're coming up.
Coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, number 5. What are the hardest experiences you've faced in your life and how have they shaped you? How have they impacted you? And what did you learn from those moments? Boom! It's like those 4 questions are the build up to that question, because it can be heavy. It can be a big question. Just like spitball them.
I'm just going to repeat it. What are the hardest experiences you've faced in your life? And how have they shaped you? How have they impacted you? What did you learn from those moments? I'm not going to talk too much about it, but being a crack cocaine addict for, more than that, like a full-on garbage can. Didn't matter what it was. Like, I'm doing it.
I love how you say garbage can, dude. It's so yeah, literally, yeah. Just taking anything.
Yeah. But that was hard, man. That was a really hard go, and how has that shaped me? How has it impacted me? Well, it's impacted me in the sense of when I was in the treatment center. I would say that I had my first spiritual awakening. So I started to believe in God, in a creator, in something so much bigger than me. I was no longer the center of the universe. I wasn't taking things personally anymore. So I also learned about love. Learned about love from that experience and just how loved I am, because through that experience, I practically lost everything and everyone that was important to me in my life. And so from choosing to choose myself and to clean up from substance abuse, I learned just how loved and cherished a person that I truly am.
I had a thought. Why don't we just share a couple? Because the thought that I had is like, we can just tell them to go watch episode number 3 and 4.
The interviews.
Yeah, like our stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that shares like, and I don't know what you think about that or how you feel about that, but like that shares so in depth a lot of like, not all of them. And that's why I said like maybe we should share 3, share like the hardest experiences that we've been through, because we've went through a decent amount of our stories on the previous episodes. I think 4 is you, and I think 3 is you, 4 is me.
Yeah,
I believe that's how it goes. Yeah. Do you feel like that's a good thing
Yeah,
to do?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Two
cool.
more.
Yeah.
Two more of the hardest experiences I've ever faced in my life. How they've shaped me, how they've impacted me, and what did I learn from those? The second hardest experience in my life, or another one, I should say. There's many.
Yeah.
But another one that's very real is creating the boundary with Annika, with Annie. By far, other than my mother, my sister, the most prominent, female figure in my life, one of my greatest teachers, for sure. I've been friends with her for 9 years, and we were together for 4.5 years. And to come to the realization that how we were in relationship as friends wasn't working for us anymore. There was, I guess I can only speak for myself, but just codependence, and an attachment to love for her. I need you to be this all for me. And so it's been really hard to put that boundary in place and to not speak to each other for 6 months now, for the first time in 9 years.
Yeah.
Letting go of your best friend, someone who you love and care about and cherish.
Yeah.
And still do, and always will.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's changed in that sense, right? It's like my love will never fade for anyone. Really, it only deepens in terms of like respect and things like that. How has it shaped me and how has it impacted me? Well, in some ways, standing in that fire, if you will, is slowly forging me into being a more compassionate, a more empathetic, a more fiercer lover, a more powerful man. Has shown me just how much pressure I was putting on another so that I would be validated. Well, it's like, okay, dude, like, outside validation's great. For sure. I think we all, need a little bit of it now and again, right? That little ego boost we were talking about. It feels good. But at the same time, how can I validate myself? It's unfair to put that total responsibility on someone. So that's also something that I've learned from that moment, and just how much that way of relating, how much pain that causes, and the grip, the clinging to like that attachment and not following through, because we tried to do it like 3 times. Tried to put that boundary in place because we both knew that it wasn't working. It was causing us pain.
Wow.
But it was just so difficult to sever. And so what did I learn from that? Like, I can do this, actually. I don't have to, like, I don't have to live in this pain.
Cool.
I don't have to hang on so tightly. And when I do hang on so tightly, it causes me to suffer.
Mm.
And I can still love you for who you are, and I can still love me for who I am, even though we don't speak.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I'm still learning from that.
How long ago did that happen? Just to give context.
6 months.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Something that we both known was supposed to happen for probably 2 years prior to that.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. Yeah, it's a long time. It seems almost crazy, but it's just like,
That's how long it takes.
just is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Just trying to just be quiet here for a moment to see if there's anything else that I want to share that wants to come through. What would I learn from that? Not right now. What are the hardest experiences you've faced in your life? Well, again, currently, because I kind of want to try to keep it as current as possible, is part and parcel of what I just shared. It's like I lived in Revelstoke for 8 years or 9 years. I called Revelstoke home. Beautiful valley, beautiful people, community that supported me through the biggest transformational period in my life to date. So much reverence for all the beings of that valley and in the way that it's held me, nourished me, supported me in so many ways. I could talk about it forever. Going back there from spending the winter out here on the West Coast and being faced with the triggers, and the reason they're triggers is because it was showing me where I'm still caught, where I'm still attached to certain things, and going back there to face those head on, turning around to face that thing instead of like running, at saying goodbye in a really good way. It was hard. It was really hard. There was a lot of sorrow and grief there for me. And I think how it's shaped me and impacted me and what did I learn from that is just my true appreciation for life and for who I was and all those beautiful people, Annika included, right? That just like have slowly just been forging me into this beautiful man that I am today. And so much like you answered a question earlier, it's just letting go of those old identities of who I thought I was and really stepping into who I am with like a thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I just love that I care that deeply about, and I show the respect to those people and the places that I call home. And that's really important to me. And I also learned just how much freedom is on the other side of that. By putting those things to rest and saying goodbye in a good way.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like learning how to hang on to the wind and trust. We're flying a little bit higher now, seeing a little bit more now. It's like, oh yeah, the adventure continues.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think we limit ourselves. In my experience, when I tend to push things away when it's maybe uncomfortable, or hang on to things because I don't want to let them go, it's uncomfortable. But when I do let go of attachment, it just opens up a whole nother world.
Yeah.
And it feels in my body spacious. Like I'm walking a little bit lighter today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Power. That's all I gotta say, bro.
Yeah.
It's powerful and beautiful.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Maybe, I don't know how long we've been going for, but I know the camera might be getting a little low on battery. How long have we been going for, Ed? Do you know?
No idea.
Probably an hour.
Yeah, probably close.
Maybe we'll answer the question, take a little break, and then come back to that banger.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited for the banger. That's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that. So I chuckled when you were going through question. I think you shared the first one, and then you were on your second one. I chuckled because I was like, I'm excited to actually answer that one. That was a big one. Yeah,
I am too.
It's a big one.
It is a big one.
Yeah, and I'm excited to just be in that,
Yeah. So let's do that. I'll ask you this one,
Cool.
and then we'll wrap up part 1 of interview. Man, it might turn into 3 parts,
Yeah.
which is totally cool.
Well, I think the next. Well, yeah, it
We'll
depends. Yeah, the next questions. Who knows?
We'll just play it by ear.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What are the hardest experiences you've faced in your life? How have they shaped you? How have they impacted you? What did you learn from these moments?
Nice. It's good to just be with that. Yeah, I'll spit with the first one. It's fun. Actually, can't start over. Ask me the question one more time.
What are the hardest experiences you faced in your life? And how have they shaped you? How have they impacted you? And what did you learn from those moments?
Do you want to start off with the hey E again? Or whatever you did there?
Sure.
Yeah.
E. What are the hardest experiences you've faced in your life? And how have they shaped you? How have they impacted you? What did you learn from those moments?
Oh. Yeah. It's going to take a couple of deep breaths, man, and really feel into that.
Mm-hmm.
I think where I'm going to begin is I feel like one of the hardest experiences that I've had to experience is always choosing the different path. In the sense of I feel like I've lived a lot of my life over the last 7 years always doing things different. I don't work a classic 9 to 5. I create in a very different way. I'm doing something very different. The things that interest me, the things that I like are kind of ostracized or not necessarily woo-woo and spiritual. And they it's kind of written off or blended in that place. But I feel like the last 7 years, it's the hardest thing that I've ever done is followed my heart. I'd say that's the better way to put it, is followed my heart. And really, really followed it. Because that's involved so many really incredible tough decisions, where it's I'm confronted with scarcity of okay, do I go all in on myself or do I go and get a job? And it's choosing myself. And there's many different points when I've had to make those choices. And it's it still is one of the hardest choices in some ways that I still have to make, because it's I have to choose that every day. And I get to choose that every day. But it's been really tough, man. It's I remember when I first gave out free hugs in the mall. I walked into a mall with a big free hug sign. And it's that's me choosing me. That's me choosing love. And that's that was pretty fucking tough to do. I was doing that in Grand Prairie, Alberta, man. Like just like an oil field town, in a lot of ways.
Tough crowd.
Yeah, tough crowd, dude. And I was like, okay, are people going to judge me? Is that going to be accepted here? Like, what's going to happen? But it's like I always chose to do the hard thing. And for me, that was always like, okay, what is the highest expression of love that I can give in this moment? And like, it's hard to do, man. It's hard to like create, like when I first started creating videos on Instagram, it was hard to start. Like I remember like all of my friends, that's all who followed me. And so I started like talking about this stuff, and it was just like, I had to go through like, okay, does anybody give a shit? Does anybody care? Is anybody going to relate? Are they just going to judge me? Are they going to be like, who does this dude think he is now? Like, he was just hooking up with women and treating women poorly. He was just like, the person that they know me as is radically different than who I am now. And it's like, I'm worried about if they're going to judge me. And so it's like always constantly like doing that anyways, and putting myself out there in those ways, I feel like is one of the hardest decisions and hardest like kind of experiences that I've had to experience thus far, is like always choosing me, always choosing love, always choosing to follow my heart instead of playing it small. And there's ways in which I'm still playing it small, but I feel like that's been that experience of like, even like walking into like for one of them, man, like this is crazy. This will be another one of like one of the hardest experiences. Like I was on a coaching call with Preston, and I love that man so much, and I'm so grateful for his presence in my life, man. Like I still want to shoot a testimonial video of just like how much his work has actually changed my life and my being, and let that be a testimony to it, because I just love that man so much. But we're sitting on a group call, and we're going through shame, and on the call, he invites everybody to share something that they haven't shared before, that they hold a lot of shame for. And you get to hear everybody kind of like go through. And I think I was like maybe the fourth person. I'm sitting in a Starbucks, like coffee shop. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go. I'm gonna share this, I'm gonna share something that I used to do as a kid, It's like, so I get into like my laptop, I get into my mic, and I like share really quietly. Like I used to stick markers in my butt. Like that's what I'd share. That's what I shared. Because that's what I did from as a kid. Now that's tied to like all this, like that's tied to just a whole whack load of shit, And I shared that, and he's like, everybody, do you see what he just did? I was like, well, what? Like, oh shit, I'm gonna be on the spot. Like everybody's like, he's like, he just leaned in, he quieted his voice, he held up his microphone so that the people around him wouldn't hear what's going on. That's how shame shows up in the body. That's how we carry that. It's because we don't want people to hear, because they're going to judge us. And he's like, Ethan, I want you to stand up right now. And I want you at the top of your lungs to yell, I like to shove markers up my butt, in front of everybody there. And I remember being like, nah, dude, I can't do that. Like that's what my mind's saying. My mind's saying that, like, just no way, bro, no way. He's like, do it. And we're not moving on until you do it. And I was like, holy. So I stand up, man. I'm just shaking, dude. I'm just shaking like a weed, dude. And I just yell it at the top of my lungs. And like everybody just looks at me. And they're all like, what? And then they all just go back to doing what they're doing. And it was like in that moment, it was just like, oh. So that ties into like 2 and 3 of like some of the hardest experiences of like, that was a really hard experience to go through, to own that, to reclaim that part of me. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like that was okay. As a kid, that was okay. Because I held so much shame around that. So I feel like that was a hard experience in its own, to yell that. And to like, but I felt so powerful in that moment of like afterwards, I was like, oh, that's what this is. That's how I move through and reclaim shame in my body. That's how I let go of that. That's how I teach myself that, this is how I want to be. This is what's okay. I write the narrative, not the narrative writes me. And that ties into like the second one of like following my heart, of like always doing the hard thing. Like at the time, like my ego's like, oh no, don't do that. But that was spirit, man, guiding me in a way to be more free. That's all that was. And so like
working through Preston.
Yeah.
Spirit working through Preston.
Yeah, guiding me, man, in a way in which I didn't even know. Like I kind of had some hunches at that time that that's where I was going, but I still didn't want to do it. Didn't want to do it at all. And I feel like that was a really yeah, just like hard experience in that moment. And then just following the heart of just like, I always chose to follow the heart. And that's been one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but also the most beautiful thing that I've ever had to do, because it's created me to be who I am.
Yeah.
And super grateful for that path that I've chosen, as hard as it can be at times. And then the next one I would say is honestly like the hardest experiences I've ever faced. It's funny how different ones pop up, you know? There's lots of like different moments like that. Like I can recall even like, well, I'm not going to share. That's another story for another time. But there's even another one in his group program where it was one of the hardest like moments, man, where it was like I was losing it. And maybe I'll just share that because it was like, that was a pretty tough one. I feel like for me, money was a big thing, especially at this time. I was like living with my parents, $70,000 in debt, and I had all these stories around money. And I asked everyone I knew for $20. And I made that a challenge that I'm going to ask every single person I knew for $20 without giving them a reason why, in zero context. Just, hey, can I have $20? If so, please e-transfer it to this. And I'd follow up with each person. And I think I made like 800 and some dollars in a day, which is quite a bit of people. I sent over 300 messages to friends, to people I knew, to like everyone. And I felt so much shame and so much guilt after getting that money. And like the next week I was mangled, bro. Like I was scared to go in public because I was like, oh, if somebody sees me and they're like, hey, why did you need that $20? I can't tell them why. I can't give them that context, because it was like a way just to ask for help. Like, hey, can I have this? With no stories attached. And it was like, I remember sitting in my car, man, being like freaking the fudge out, dude. Like I was like tweaking in some ways, like really freaking out of like, I can't sit with this. I can't be with this guilt. I can't be with this shame. I can't be with any of this. Like the feeling was just nuts, dude. Like I wanted to like just hide. I wanted to like, there's thoughts of like suicide, thoughts of killing myself, all these different thoughts that are coming up. It's just like, I remember sending a message to the press and be like, dude, I can't do this. Like I've made such a big mistake and I feel so ashamed that I've done this. And all that he replied to is, feel it. That's all that he shared. And I was like, you son of a biatch, man. You do not tell me to feel this. But it was like, that's all that I had to do. And I feel like I mean, those are hard experiences, like very hard experiences for sure. That like looking back at the time, like didn't seem very hard, but like was very hard for me, man. I feel like at that time in my life, I was very ashamed of myself. And I was broken in a lot of ways, single father, like just like my identity was completely cracked and gone, you know? And so I feel like that was tough, because it was like a week of just the most torment I've experienced on the inside, of like scared to see people, scared to post anything anymore, scared to share anything anymore, because somebody's gonna be like, hey, you owe me $20, or like just like shame me or say something about that, you know? And I got a lot of people like, who the hell do you think you are to ask for money? Like, who are you? You know, I probably got 30 messages like that. You kidding me, dude? You kidding me? You know? And it's just like, what that really taught me, and what I learned from those moments was like, can I still, like in that moment specifically, can I still ask no matter who the hell says something about that? Can I still show up no matter who has something to say about that? Can I still put myself out there? And regardless of what people are going to say, because I was so worried. I spent so much of my life worrying about what other people thought of me and my image, that it's like, I learned that I'm the person who gets to decide. At the end of the day, I write my story. I narrate my being and what I want to make things mean, not anybody else. I'm the author of my story. Not Joe, not Fred, not that person that bullied me when I was 6 or 10 or 12. It's like, I get to decide that. And I feel like I learned that. And then what I learned from following my heart and those other experiences, man, of like, just like the coffee shop thing of like yelling that out, following my heart, I learned that like, that's just the only way to live. Like, that's the only thing I can say that. It's like, I learned that that's the only way to live, is by following my heart. I'm so grateful that I did that. And then what I learned in the coffee shop, that moment was powerful, man, because I held so much shame around that. I got bullied in school for that for for like 4+ years, like ridiculed for that. And that was something I held so much shame for. Like I couldn't even bear it when I was in school. Like I would just get shut down. I'd be speaking. I think I shared this in in my interview. I'd be speaking and someone would say, just shut up, marker boy. And I would instantly just shut the fuck up. And I just like feel this depressive weight. And so I like learned in that moment, it's like I learned to take each of those moments back and be like, no, this is who I am. And I am okay. And it is okay. Mm-hmm. Let's go. Yeah. So that's my answer to that question. Didn't expect to go to any of those places, bro.
Yeah. Just the courage, man, that it takes to write your relationship with that shame, to reclaim that power. No, I get to decide. Really, that's falling in love with yourself. It's choosing you, choosing love. Not any of the other stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Good things to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, set me up to experience what I get to experience now, which is a tremendous amount of freedom.
Yeah.
In just ownership of who I am. You know, I could talk about anything with anyone.
Yeah.
There's no subject that I can't go into
where
I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I've touched it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you do feel a slight uncomfort, it's like you've been there.
Yeah.
And you know how to navigate that space now.
Yeah. Yeah, it got me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's wrap up part 1 of the interview, and we'll be back at you with part 2.
See you soon. Love you.